Welcome back to Wise Up Biz Talk, where they find a business lesson in everything and help you wise up. Let's get started with your hostesses, Em and Kim.
So with the COVID-19 going on, a lot of businesses are struggling. So I guess there's two loans out there through the SBA. One is the PPP, which is the Payroll Protection Program. And then the other one is the EIDL.
Economic Injury Disaster Loan.
So we want to talk about the term with the EIDL.
Talked about the PPP, right? And how, people are getting it and some of the obstacles that they're having. So we did talk about that in a previous. There's been a lot of changes and a lot of questions. And I think that our wonderful government is rolling out new communication and new directives constantly. It's kind of hard to keep up with how fast they're moving through that.
Well, I guess they're learning. It's a process as well, because it's the first time that this happened. Not just statewide, but it's nationwide.
Also also when you're just putting something, rolling it out pretty quickly, which in my opinion, I think it's good to roll out things quickly and then adjust accordingly from a business perspective. But from a taxpayer dollar perspective, maybe just a little bit more thought. I mean, they definitely have to go after some of those companies and get some of that money back and things like that. Go after companies that have other ways of raising capital and stuff like that. So, I think the government's doing good about going back and holding people accountable. So for the PPP, I mean, that is just, have to focus on those directives. And as a business owner, you should be getting those if you receive the funding. So on the EIDL, did you apply for the EIDL?
Yes.
I did too.
Yeah.
Why were you, I mean, obviously in our business, we're unable to have appointments and meet with clients face to face like what we're used to. So that's the economic injury that we're having is our business come to a standstill. Now, we've been taking the time to do other things to help enhance our business later and get our marketing programs and things like that situated. But why ultimately did you apply for it? I think it's important for businesses to apply for it so they can prep for after COVID.
Well, not even prep. Like right now, some of the business, they're struggling right now because the business not open up. They're not obtaining sales. They're not making any money. So, this is a good way for them to help with some of the expense right now while they waiting for their business to pick up.
Well, the thing is like in our case, right, we're not able to go and meet with people face to face. So we have no income coming in for, that we're used to now. Of course, we have a renewal business and we make money from that, but that's not what helps us grow our business, So when we take the loan, we're going to be using that to help increase the marketing so we can make up for that.
So now we have to think of different ways to reach out to new businesses, not like the old way where we used to do.
Yeah, new clients.
Yeah, so new marketings and maybe closing sales going to be totally different now. It's not going to be as much as face-to-face. Yeah. So it's going to be over the phone. So we have to adapt to the changes.
Well, and also we're going to have to buy extra equipment. We're having to, have people more set up differently, making sure that we take the safety precautions should this happen again. We don't want to be caught in a position where we can't do enrollments or help people with their Medicare options and the things that we help people with health insurance during the one season they're able to make these changes. So as a business and out of care for our current clients and our future clients, we have to make those changes. And that's ultimately what that loan is for. Now, let's talk about the loan. So most people are like, oh, I'm going to get all this money. Woo. But people, I don't think, are really reading the fine print.
No, they're not. So we just spent a whole hours reading it. But we are not lawyers, so make sure that you should consult with your lawyers or your tax professionals.
And read your document yourself before signing it.
Correct. So this is
there are a lot of provisions in there. And remember that this is a loan through the SBA, and there are criminal and civil penalties should you
misuse the funds.
And so we just wanted to go through what we kind of learned. Not kind of, we did, as we read through it. So first off, what can you not use this money for, Kim?
Well, so if you did apply for PPP and you got approved for PPP, so PPP, you're going to use that to pay your employee, which is your payroll.
And that's for the first 8 weeks, right?
8 weeks. And then you're going to use that money also to pay other expenses like your rent money and your interest. So if you already use your PPP to pay for those expenses, then you cannot use the funds on this side, EIDL, to pay for those same expenses.
Right. So for example, if you got PPP for your employees, so you paid them for 8 weeks, and then I think you use the rest to pay, you know, some of your rent, right? So you cannot use this EIDL. You cannot use the receipts or the proof of that.
Yes. To
justify the EIDL.
Because I didn't really know this, but they do not, I guess, upfront the money to you for the EIDL. So
well, they can disperse it as much as they want. So that was something that was interesting that we read in the what is it, LAA?
The agreement.
The agreement.
The notes. Yeah.
When you're in your closing documents, like they can give you this name, it's up to their discretion. They can give you all the money up front. They can give it in disbursements. So it's really up to them how they get it to you. I think you will receive the full amount within 6 months though.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you are required to keep receipts.
Your books. Have a paper trail.
For everything. So you have to keep all your receipts. I think you have to keep
for at least
all your copies of checks and any canceled checks. You have to keep them for 3 years.
After the maturity. After you finish paying off your loan. Yeah. So this is a 30-year loan. And then, so for the first 12 months, you do not have to make any payment. But the interest is still accrued.
Right.
So whenever you make your first payment on the 13th month, that's going to go toward the interest first. That is accrued during the 12-month period. So this loan is for 30-year loan, and then you can file for extension or request for extension if after the 30 year you felt like you still need more time to pay.
But whatever you do not go in default.
Yes.
So part of this program is if you are requesting for more than $25,000 in the loan, you have to put up your business as collateral or business assets. And I think they even said personal property in there.
Yeah, it did.
So all of your assets are put up as collateral. So,
and then you're required to buy liability insurance too to protect those collateral.
That's right. So you also have to do that as part of accepting the EIDL. So make sure you do that. But going back to what you cannot use the money for, you cannot use the money to basically double dip, or not double dip, but what is it? Double benefit? Duplicate benefits.
Yeah, duplicate benefits.
Cannot duplicate benefits like we talked about with the PPP and what you use that money for.
And then you can't even relocate to a new location unless you get prior authorizations from approval from SBA.
So like, let's say you're a nail salon and they're going to be shutting down the building that you're in. You cannot relocate without notifying the SBA and getting their written consent that you do so. And you actually have to, based on the contract, you have to get permission from the SBA for a lot of things, including if you want to give yourself like an increased pay raise, or take out dividends or anything like that out of your business. So you're definitely gonna have to research.
Talk to your tax accountants about it before you sign up on it for the loan.
Yeah.
And then another good thing about this is, since it's a loan, it's not an income.
Right. So that's actually really good information that you need to talk with your accountant, because it's not taxable income, because it is a loan. So you can deduct. You can deduct the interest rate. So as you get charged that interest rate, whether you make payments now or later or whenever, you can always deduct that from the loan amount. So that's,
and then the expense or that you use the loan to pay for, you can still deduct that as a necessary business expense on your tax return at the end of the year.
So like, for example, if you're going to, start doing digital marketing, and let's say you put, $10,000 in a year into digital marketing, even though you're using that $10,000 from that EIDL loan, which number one, you're going to keep a receipt of, okay, because you're going to have to, you want to make sure you have clear proof of what you're using these funds for. And we're going to talk about why in just a minute, but you're going to have the receipt, and then you can still claim that as a tax deduction when you go to file your taxes. So you'll have that $10,000 will be tax reduction. So
Oh, and another thing that we need to, so let's say if you invest into a new equipment, it got to be American made.
That was interesting. I was like, how are you going to know that? And she's like, it'll tell you, made in USA or whatever. So yeah, if you want to purchase equipment from the loan, not your business income, but from the money from your loan. So make sure that your receipts are all in one place, but also make sure that when you purchase equipment, that it is made in the US. It was very specific in the contract, in the closing documents.
And then you have to sign your loan docs within the 2-month period. Once you get your loan docs.
So once you get I got mine in email. So once you get the email notification, it'll ask you to go view, create your online account. You go in there, your banking information and your personal information is already in there because that's how you used to apply. And then you're going to go into your closing documents. Now, when you go in there, just because you go to say sign, it doesn't mean you're actually signing. You can review the document without signing, but you have 2 months. And actually in the email, it says you have 30 days. So, and if you go past that period, it is subject to review by the SBA, and you're going to have to ask them if you can have access to that.
So going back to books and records, first we have to keep books and records for at least 3 years after the maturity dates of your loans. And then also, you don't have to submit it as proof, but SBA can request to look at it, to review, to audit your books.
So, and that is part of the contract terms as well, is that the SBA is able to audit and review all of your records, your books, your tax documents, receipts, everything related to your business. So you're really, by accepting this money, you're really allowing them to come in and really look at your business. And I would just make sure that you are very clear. In fact, I think what I would do is, just thinking about in our business, is I think I'm going to keep a separate folder where I upload all those receipts so I can show that those payments were made from that loan.
So and then also from those docs, there is a flyers in there. It's called the SBA Form 722, which is the equal opportunity. You need to post that in your place of business.
Yeah, so I have a home office, but I will be posting it just in case. Take a picture of it and have that. Also, I'm going to take a picture of it in my office and I'm going to post it and put it with my receipts, because you would just want to make sure you're adhering to all of the guidelines and the compliance of the terms of the contract, because again, there are criminal and civil penalties, and I believe,
since we're talking about that,
if you get caught misusing the funds, you owe 1.5 times the amount that was given to you.
Correct.
So I don't want to be responsible for that.
No.
Now,
how about jail time? Did they talk about that?
Well, they said criminal penalties, so I mean,
they didn't really
considered that. But the other thing too is, I mean, obviously if you're doing things the right way, and if you have questions, you can always reach out to the SBA. I mean, there's phone numbers and things like that, because they didn't really say what they said some of the key items you can spend the money on, but
they say working capital.
Working capital is
but
what
they didn't really define working capital.
Yeah.
Because we actually look for the terminology for working
definition.
Yes.
Which I was kind of surprised is not in there. Usually contracts have like terminology definitions there. But working capital was specifically mentioned on what you would use that money for. So that's a good point.
But they did define the collateral.
Yes.
They defined that, but not working capital.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you just want to make sure that the money that you're using from this loan is for economic injury purposes. And as long as you can justify that, and if you do have a hesitation or a question, you should start reaching out to your either attorneys or SBA directly. Obviously, we're not attorneys, but I know for myself, I'm going to stay really organized with these receipts, because I don't want to be, and I don't recall seeing a payoff early penalty.
No, there's no prepaid penalty.
So like if you feel like you don't need the money, I guess you can return it with no problem.
No penalty, yes.
So now the only other question I have that we couldn't really get answered, but do I have to use all that money in 1 year, or how does that work?
They didn't really talk about that.
Because it's a loan. Like you would think you need to use it as you, because like in our business, like we make money off of what we did last year. You know, so next year we are really going to feel the pain if we can't make up for it towards the end of this year. So I don't know how that would.
Because they talk about like for disbursement, you have to. I don't know if you need to send proof or you just tell them, hey, look, this is what I'm planning to do, and this is how much I need.
I feel like they should have asked for that to begin with, right? I don't know.
Well, I guess because everything is not set in stone, so they could come back and, hey, look, you know, this is what you need to present to us before we can disperse you the money.
Yeah.
Because everything is so new and fresh.
I don't know. If I wake up tomorrow and my account has a lot of money in there, I'm
We're just telling you what we encounter right now. So, I don't know. There's not too many history about people obtaining not yet.
No.
Oh.
And also, don't listen to your friends. Don't listen to anybody. Read the contract yourself. It does not take you an hour. We were just discussing it, but and how we would be presenting it to you guys. But basically, the money is used for working capital. The money is to be used for economic injured businesses. So if you're rolling in the dough and you're not having an economic injury to your business, you may want to ask some additional questions to see if you should keep it. It's 1.5 times the penalty for misuse, or 1.5 times the amount that you took as a penalty for misuse. So 100,000 mean 150,000, right? 1.5. I'm just really bad at math, so let's not go there. I was gonna say 250. I don't know. So what I'm saying, I need a calculator. No, but at the end of the day, you need to read the document, make sure you're using it wisely, and stay organized, because they have access to request your books and your taxes and all of that. And also, I would just let your accountants know. I mean, you're in the accounting world. I mean, have y'all been given any guidance about the EIDL and how that's going to function, or not really?
No, not really, because I don't really feel comfortable
talking about it right now.
No, not right now.
Everything's changing.
Yes, constantly changing.
Yeah. So, but it's weird because, you know, like, it's kind of irritating a little bit because, like, you as an individual, you know, us normal people, not like the people who are in the government with connections, and not those people. Those people get, you know, is them, and then there's us. But us normal folk over here, like, we're not allowed to have ignorance to the law. So we will face those civil and criminal penalties. And so it's so important for you to stay on top of this and to make sure that you're using it for the right reasons. And if you have a question of, like, is this the right reason, then you need to ask the SBA directly.
All right, then. So see you guys next time.
Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for joining us today on Wise Up Biz Talk. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and leave a rating. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Wise Up Biz Talk. Please share our episodes on your business page with friends and family so they too can wise up. Always a business lesson in everything. See you on the next episode.